What's up, family? In Isaiah chapter 2, verses 2-4, the prophet Isaiah says, "Now it will come about that in the last days, the mountain of the house of Yahweh will be established as the chief of the mountains and will be raised above the hills, and all the nations will stream to it, and many peoples will come and say, 'Come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us concerning his ways, and that we may walk in his paths. For the law will go forth from Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And he will judge between the nations, and will render decisions for many peoples. And they will hammer their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up sword against nation, and never again will they learn war." That's beautiful. If you've been paying attention to the news in the last couple of days, and you would have heard about these Buddhist monks who are taking it upon themselves to do this walk called the Walk of Peace from Texas to Washington, D.C. That is 19 monks who are taking this long journey on foot from Texas to Washington, D.C., crossing about 10 states in the process. I commend these guys for their effort. It can't be easy, and they are doing something that most of us will never be willing to do. At the same time, when these gentlemen get to Washington, D.C. and make their petition to the government for peace, they will soon realize that the government and the world around us will be unable to grant them this request. Why? Because the world cannot give what it doesn't have. All the marching will never change our deceitful and wicked hearts. True peace comes as a result of us being submitted to Yahweh through the Messiah, where he teaches us how to live with one another. Because the problem of evil, chaos, drama, and injustice is rooted in the heart and lived out in our walk because we desire self-gratification, self-preservation more than we desire peace with one another. Therefore, in order to have peace, it requires surgery, a circumcision of the heart that is done without human hands. We find this in Yahweh Shalom because Yahweh is peace. Only in Messiah Yeshua is this peace accomplished. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 11-15 proclaims Messiah Yeshua as our peace because he removes the barrier between us and God and each other. Only the Messiah can give us this peace because he is our peace. By affirming Jesus as Lord, he becomes our primary identity in which our differences, our diversities must submit to. If in Messiah, Jews and Gentiles can have common ground by basing our identity in Messiah, then on this foundation, we resolve our differences in Messiah because he is our peace. Again, shouts out to the Buddhist monks for attempting a monumental feat for a noble cause. From a human standpoint, this is no small deal at all. If anything, I respect anyone who does what it takes to improve society. But this is just a moment in time that will eventually fade because the problem is not aspiration, but inspiration. If our hearts ain't right with God, our hearts would not be right with each other. Our hearts would not be right with the world. So again, shouts out to him. But this will not be accomplished except only in Messiah.